Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear colleagues. My name is Kyrylenko. I work as head of the laboratory on radiological assessment and dose projection of State Scientific and Technical Center for Nuclear and Radiation Safety. I'm also a member of the Emergency Center of the Ukrainian regulatory body. So in my presentation, I would like to stress the issue of resilience of system for public protective actions under wartime. I'm going to give a general view on the in-between experience and challenges faced during the last time. The main tasks of SSC-NRS include comprehensive technical and scientific support for the regulator in nuclear and radiation safety issues at all stages of nuclear facility life. In the context of emergency preparedness and response, our organization is involved in the activities of the Information and Emergency Center. Our experts participate in the development of the regulatory framework, emergency planning, and radiation monitoring activities. Since full-scale invasion, our experts provide analysis of potential accident may be occurred at Ukrainian facilities. The main task for radiological assessor in case of emergency is a real-time assessment on recommended protective actions for the territories controlled by Ukrainian government, as well as for the territories temporarily occupied by Russian troops. So let's have a look at the general concept of emergency preparedness and response for a peaceful time. There are preparedness stage and response phase separated by declaration of the emergency class of event. In war condition, the concept does not work. Preparedness and response stages are mixed. We have some time before the potential event to prepare additional data, source terms, statistical calculations to provide approximate area could be affected by the release. Since March 2022, Emergency Center of Ukrainian regulatory body has been activated several times. During the activation, calculations for the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plants were provided on a regular basis. Using special software, we defined the area could be affected by protective actions. In this slide, some calculations conducted in 2022 using European decision support system JRODOS. Now I'm gonna list the main challenges faced for the past 2 years of full-scale war. First of them relates to accident scenarios should be considered in such non-standard conditions. Also, it calls reference scenarios. In this slide, you can see some example for Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Obviously, events considered in design or safety analysis reports cannot consider external hostile actions of enemy. Therefore, the list should be extended based on current situation, expert view, and any other available resources. In frame of this slide, I should mention the set of reference scenarios is not stable thing. Since full-scale invasion has been changed and modified several times. Second one is optimization approach often used for urgent protective actions. As an example, for evacuation, we should conduct optimization taking into account a lot of factors such as number of people to be evacuated, availability of vehicles, preparedness of evacuation sites and roads, etc. Basically, we know how to do it in peaceful time, but in wartime, we should also consider occupied territories and associated risks for Ukrainian public due to Russian troops. Another challenge will put us to such measurable quantities like operational intervention levels. Such levels in terms of, for example, dose rate are developed with the aim to justify the implementation of protective actions. In preparedness stage, oils should be established based on possible events considered in the design of the facility. But in case of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the power unit is not is in non-design status regarding shutdown mode around 2 years. Thus, the expected measurable quantities should be harmonized to the reference accident scenario, considering the current isotopic content of the reactor core or spent fuel pool. Fourth challenge relates to data assimilation. Generally, this is procedure of combining the modeling results and the first measurements obtained from monitoring station. In light of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, this issue becomes extremely important because there is no direct connection between regulatory body and the facility. Indeed, with a possible wind direction to the right bank of the Dnipro River, the first markers for assessing the release and the situation in general may be the dose rate values obtained from the nearest monitoring station. And the last but not least, existing emergency planning zones around Ukrainian facility has been developed based on events in some range of probabilities. When we talk about war condition, regarding the experience received from Zaporizhzhia site capture, planning zone can be promptly reassessed using reference accident scenarios and statistical weather data. It means we can respond to current status and current threats and provide additional resources. For example, distribution of iodine tablets to some region of our country, like it was in 2022. However, how often we should do it during the war is still open question. To sum up, looking at the 2-year experience, we can try to highlight very preliminary points on the topic. Preparedness for an event that may be happened as a result of hostilities requires more knowledge of the response of facility system and elements to potential military threats. The range of potential consequences for the public should be narrowed based on expert opinion, current status, or possible nature of impact on the nuclear facilities. Existing response mechanism and procedures should be supplemented with special response procedure in war conditions. And finally, creation of a secure virtual platform for expert communication may be the best solution to ensure the emergency response system resilience in wartime. Thank you for your attention.